and welcome to What If the Earth Restarted? Basically, WiER. That's what I'm calling it. WiER. I'm a bit weird. Bit of a weird name. Get it? Because WiER, like WiER. Weird. Yeah, for the name on the for a really long time. And we are going to be seeing the story of these new people just woken up. We're going to start off with first year. Now, when first year first gets born, it's kind of more of a settlement than anything. It kind of just sits there. It's not really a civilization till a couple decades later, when basically everyone fucking grows up. You know, we love when people grow up, don't we? And, well, basically, you know, they grow up. Yes, they grow up. Yes, they do. They grow up. That doesn't make any sense, does it? Sorry. Basically, it starts off in the southern tip of Arabia. They slowly explore more and then expand. Basically being all of Oman, South Yemen, and a bit of it, and basically the whole eastern side of UAE. So more the old king dies, and the new king comes up, and he wants to go up there. They go up here, basically control it and take it over. This area is more populous because of, well, they have rivers, which means they can farm. Down here it gets forgotten. These guys just rise up and, you know, take this land. Discovering, they go up and just. By the way, I'm like doing this for like a whole 10 minutes, so yeah, I'm just kind of explaining what's been happening. They slowly explore more of Anatolia. They go into Africa, take over the northern part of the Nile. They try to go into the Caucasus, mountain, Persia, mountain, more of Africa, desert. Oh, yeah, that's a change. Europe, no mountain. Oh, hey, that's cool. Just explore here a little bit. Eventually these guys have a war. First year has more advanced technology and more people, so they start winning. They start noticing that there's no army, so they kind of just take them into land until they reach the capital. That's because they're taking a really long path to the capital during the northern bit. They take it over because your king guards aren't going to do shit against a full-fledged army, so they get taken over. They didn't really expect that. How far north it is and how advanced they are, they had less guards. They put a sword to the king's throat and tell them to agree to the peace treaty, and they get more of South Arabia. Yippee! A new civilization starts up. They get instantly killed and slaughtered. Yippee! The third civilization instantly dead. And they were so relevant that they don't even get named. They were just there. Yippee! A few more expansions into Persia, reaching some low-level mountains and, you know, exploring more of Africa, and these guys taking it over a little bit. Eventually, they continue going into a bunch of people don't like the life of this warm, humid everywhere. And they discovered the cold over here, and it's 1,000 people, maybe 750 now, trek through cold mountains to reach Russia, mainly Siberia. Call their nation Vadandra, and while they kind of explore around a little bit, they do destroy all their settlements while on their way here. And basically, they just kind of, you know, stay up here. So a lot of minerals, they explore around a bit, and they explore in some isolationism, you know? Take a few islands, but they explore them. Well, basically, they start setting up an army to defend themselves, just in case explores up this way. Had to take the coldest route. Quite a lot of people die. That's sad. Womp womp. Womp. Now first year starts taking some more land in Persia. Wartime. Second Drusius is actually prepared now. They can now actually have like 2 armies. So does first year. They start engaging in some battles. First year wins 1. First year wins 2. Second Drusius. Sorry. Eventually they decide. Eventually a new tactic is invented. Divide and conquer. It's not like the IRL divide and conquer, like divide your armies and then conquer. It's just like I'm talking about that, like nothing that comes from trees, conquer. It makes your armies really weak, but it's better for it. They don't divide all their armies. They send some up on ships to take Bahrain. And eventually, when first reinforcements starts coming down, they start absolutely demolishing it. Till the troops come back and these guys are fine. These guys are like it. So the Iraqi forces, the first reinforcements on Iraq are fighting the Kuwait, the secondary Siyassin forces in Kuwait, and the Saudi Arabian first reinforcements are fighting the Saudi Arabian secondary Siyassin forces in Hijaz. And basically, Drusius just kind of circles back around them and kind of just beats their ass, like straight beats their knee. Basically conquer them and, go back together again. They come together. And because of this new strat, first just kind of embarrassed, but eventually they have enough population to have 3 armies. Jesus Christ. Eventually they do their divide and conquer strat again. But they're prepared this time. They also divide and conquer. But the secondary Siyas is more advanced in it, and that kind of just makes them weaker. But they do capture these guys over here, so hey, that's good, right? Anyway, eventually with this weaker army and this stronger army, they do divide and conquer, and they conquer. So I would say if they retreated, they do conquer though, but not as good. Actually, these guys, without anyone to stop them, kind of just starts slaughtering all the locals. There's no there's nothing stopping them from doing this other than armies. And eventually they send some guys out. 2 guys to be exact. So they send some people from the capital, not royal guards or king guards. They do send an army out from the capital, which is where population is. And they kind of just beat the meat of second Drusius. Because what are you gonna do when you're surrounded by 2 fully fledged armies? Fuck all. They kind of just have to divide and conquer now. Themselves, Eventually they start going down south with all these other armies. Actually, Drusius is meeting up with basically 4 armies. 2 armies. So eventually they have to send another guy. They do the divide and conquer thing and basically take out 2 armies with 1 more half army left. Eventually, these guys from the south have to go back around and join up with these guys, and they get fucking wrecked. So yeah, it's kind of just a back and forth. But eventually, a bunch of people don't want to fight this war anymore on the first stream side because they're getting wrecked. And eventually, they decide to stop. A peace treaty, and what happens is they basically just take a bit more land, and finally they have rivers. Finally, Jesus Christ. So basically, first you just taken a big, massive L. Finally discovered this island. And we'll discover the importance later. These guys took a little bit more land in Africa, and the land in Egypt is a little bit, or gettable because it's not as much desert. Eventually, a bunch of people from both of these nations are like tired of this, so they fuck off to India. They go through the south bit, which is where less mountains are. Basically, go to the southern tip of India, land on Sri Lanka, and kind of take it. Sri Lanka, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Basically, Fafora is born. Is it an OU in 4-4? O. Just an O. Well, you'll never know because you're never going to see it, so it don't matter. But for they're going to be a pretty strong nation. Ooh, shit. Make them green. They're green, alright? Instead of green. And they're a bit more religious. So they're going to, when I mean a little bit more, I mean entirely. They're really religious and kind of have the theocracy, basically. But not really. If you know what I mean. Like, religion has quite a lot to do with law. Like, the law of the nation. Like, I'm not gonna say you get fucking executed for disrespecting, like, I don't know, their god or something. But you will be frowned upon and given a fine. You owe more tax money. I guess bill money. You can owe more money to the king. There's a lot of religion dealt with it. You're only allowed to be king if you're religious. And, that's not hard to be. And when I mean king, I mean, like, someone else the son can get rivaled for being king. If he's less religious, let's say you're the king's son, alright? You want to be in power, but someone rivals you for it. They're like, come on, buddy. But you don't fight. You both get given tests, basically, to become king. And now, if you're more religious than him, you can become king. But you're not really like the Pope or something. That's someone currently. They can't be kings because they have to manage the church as well. I'm gonna see. Hold on. Let me check. Is it 4th or 4th? It's 4th. I was thinking that was a bit weird. Like, that was a bit odd. But no, it's 4th. Oh yeah, now it's way better. That's way better. It's 4th, not 4. 4th. I mean, guys don't really know about them because it's only like 500 people that leave. They're like the most religious people. Not many too religious people. They really don't use it when it, helps them in a sitch. So yeah. Like, no, I was baptized. You can't arrest me. Which actually that can work. You get baptized without them knowing. When they try to arrest you, they can't arrest you because you've been baptized. That does work. It has happened quite a lot. But if you do it too much, eventually they'll realize you're abusing religion, which is a crime. So you will be called out for it, and you will have to get punishment. They get pretty powerful, Tons of riches in the land that they don't know about just yet. Yeah, they'll become pretty powerful. Will they? Will they not? They're really good explorers. They like exploring a lot. alright? Because, you know, the king can just use the good old religion tactic and be like, but would God want you to explore his big, beautiful earth? And then they're like, oh, shit, you're right. Don't worry, I'm not doing too much. I'm just kind of like clicking to look about, you know. Jesus Christ, this is a big, ugly path. Just like, kind of just making its way downtown, walking fast, faces past now, homebound. Shit, gang, sorry. I'll pause it, because, you know, seconds seem way longer than they actually are. So, yeah. You know, I kind of thought, pause it, because I looked at it, it was 31. I quickly looked back and forth, and it was still 31. So, yeah, I paused it, and I redid like a whole wet bit, for no fuck ass reason. So, yeah. Embarrassing! To pause it there. While singing. Yeah, I'm a minor, so what? Get fucked. Not today, pedophiles. Basically just meant, no, don't worry, I don't have that thought of mind. Eventually they discover the Himalayas exist. Fuck. Yeah, fuck. Skyhand did react, I'm pretty sure. Fuck, big mountains. And then they start thanking God because maybe, you know, it's to protect them or some shit from big scary people. I mean, there's something that they don't know about. The fourth nation ever to exist. Yeah, fourth, because, you know, the guys existed over here. You know, the guys with the Belarusian flag. I never gave the name because they were gonna instantly get bopped. Before we continue on, or if I finish this, let me explain the flags. First trio. So the main reason why first trio is this flag, because of the moon and the sun. They basically, it's some religious stuff. It's the symbol of their religion, basically Islam. Secondricios is basically just the same flag, except so first trio is the Afghanistan flag. Secondricios has that flag, but like it's not like the moon isn't like shaped up in a diagonal. It's just like on its side. No, like it's facing the left with a star, but it's not white. It's gold with a gold bar, and obviously the background blue. Fodondra has a bear with an axe, which is tough because on the way there they kind of fought a bear, and like one guy fought it with an axe, and it's like something to resemble something, you know. And then for four, he basically had red for the the blood of God, the white which resembles peace, the green which resembles earth, basically God, peace on earth. So these gold squiggly lines, which resembles humanity. So yeah, they've got quite. Religion is a big standpoint in this. Fodondra's is the cool bear with an axe. So yeah, I think I prefer Fodondra's flag. And basically, eventually they start exploring a little bit more in Persia, you know. So having settlements over here. So they discover camps because these guys are good at hiding their tracks, and the other guys. Who the fuck is going up this way? Like, no one. Fucking no one. I mean, they do travel a little bit. Maybe but that's like that could have traveled miles, and at least people are dumb. That is true. If you don't believe in science, then you're dumb. That's just facts. So eventually this starts to go more this way, and eventually Secondricios rules come with them. It's one thing that they can be peaceful with, killing other nations. Shit, a lot of murder in this. See, this is what religion does to you, kids. Makes you murderous. Eventually, they find out about these guys. I'm trying to fix this board. It looks like shit. Yeah, there we go. I want it to look shit, but not that shit, alright? And eventually find out about them. They kind of just band together to kill these motherfuckers. One thing that you'll find about Euphoria, that they won't attack first. They never will. That's just something that they don't fucking do, right? And basically, these guys have a max of 3 armies each. And, you know, they kind of use that to their advantage. Eventually, Fedondra sends down some forces as well. They don't know about Euphoria. They know about Secretary Stealth eventually. They kind of figured like, maybe first year Secretary Stealth killed one another. Send down a small platoon to find out what's going on down here. It's a long while, and by the time they get there, Euphoria is kind of like begging for someone to like help them or something, bro. Like, please help me, please, speed. I need this. My mama's kind of homeless. My dad left me. They're getting their ass kicked, like straight fucked up, bro. It's just not fair. So yeah, and eventually Fedondra shows up, you know. Where's the stuff? Oh, there's stuff. And they think about going through here. They'll be thought as invaders, so they kind of just go through the weaker part of the Afghan mountains, and you know they kind of just go from there. They go back around, you know, go through, and then they see the bloodshed of left by soldiers. It's basically terrorizing the people, and they liberate it. You know, they start, and they see this new nation, and they attack from the behind. Fedondra's entered. They'd rather save other people than be in isolation. Euphoria people thank them so much that they start giving them gold. Yes, gold has been discovered. It's been at least a few decades by now. They have swords, and with them together, they start fighting them. These guys send out a guy to like help send back reinforcements. That are at war now. They basically help some people, so they might be involved in this war now. So yeah, they decide to make some sort of defensive line, I guess, with the new bear people, they call them. No joke, they actually call them bear people. Right? They actually do call them bear people. Per border, on the Iranian-Pakistani border, and Fedondran forces are eventually conscripted up. So yeah, a whole 2 divisions of Fedondran forces start showing up. But will they get there in time? Fedondran secondary Siasan forces start fighting. I mean, it should be more of first year secondary Sias, and then Faforian, and then Fafanian. That's a genius name. Forces start fighting because, you know, Fedondra's already existed, bro. Just not for long enough for anyone to care. And in real one, this is gonna be like a past thing. Like, we're gonna look back on this, alright? Remember the real Fedondra. Remember the real Fedondra. Basically, fucking Anatolian country. And, you know, a lot of blood is spilled. And there's quite a lot of Fedondran casualties. These guys weren't like that. They really start approaching, you know. They see a few dead Fedondrans and they think a battle happened there. It didn't. They just died from fucking mountains. Eventually, Fedondra and Euphoria are forced to push back. Well, Fedondra's been forced to push back. So they split the army in half. And, you know, a battle ensues there. And like they said, divide and conquer. And they slay all of the Fedundra forces. Fedundra finally makes it there. They warm, and well, like I said, they divide and they conquer. They attack them, with them suffering many casualties. Berkshire splits their forces into three, basically just three normal full armies. Fedundra splits theirs into two up north, with them capturing this secretly and push down, basically capturing these guys and forcing them to retreat. Split up into three and make a whole new defensive border. Way weaker with the north, which is basically with the middle, which is basically just mountains. So yeah, that doesn't matter. 126 minutes, Jesus Christ. Basically, with this, they send down more reinforcements from the north. The 4 armies. These people are very patriotic. Start coming down lightning fast on fucking bears. I don't even have realized it is a realization with code. Yeah, no, they come down riding on bears. Yeah, they kind of tame the bears, which is also, I guess, another reason for this. The bears fight with them, so ride the bear with the axe is kind of tough. I think I might keep this flag throughout. Why won't the normal Russian flag have a bear on it? That's so cool. Eventually they start conquering this land. Eventually they kill these guys, and they basically just trap a bunch of Firstrian forces. Secondary Sios forces here, they come back around. Eventually they capture these two, and they kind of split off to, these guys. These secondary Sios forces are stuck here with Phosphorian forces. Basically they split up, make a bunch to make 3 full-fledged armies, basically conquer these guys. Which again, Fedundra's fanked. They basically kill more guys, basically run up this way. Then basically meet up with these guys. Basically a bunch of more Firstrian forces up. And none of them are told about the deaths. The death toll. Basically a secret. With a bunch of troops coming from the capital and more major towns. Basically unknown when this war's going to end. Eventually secondary Sios forces start showing up as well. With basically 8 armies worth on this single border. More foreign forces start showing up with them. It's basically 8 versus 4. That's not fair. So, wanna know what happens? Summon more forces from their each respective countries. And Fedundra starts fucking speeding, like, Jesus Christ, these bears are fast, alright? Before you can kind of just, like, take a few kilometers and then they'll kind of, like, just be there. Now it's basically 6v8. A little bit more doable. To basically hold defensive positions for these guys to keep on attacking now. Over here, still a few more people. Little area here that hasn't been taken over yet. Basically, a bunch of medieval warfare worked, or ancient warfare. They wouldn't really go in like a bunch of lines and just boom or go around and take everything. They just went and had major battles. Why waste your time? The war score does not matter that much. But before they could get too powerful, they kind of just got killed. Like, basically no casualties. These guys wasting forces is more of a 7v8 now. Basically, these guys join up and they make an attack. It is the bloodiest. These are the biggest, bloodiest set of battles ever. these guys finally getting an occupation zone. And basically, after each battle of the Phororians, they basically pray to their god for forgiveness. They do baptizations for killing. That's how religious these guys are dedicated. Vidandra joins in with them, and these guys thank you for, having a go in their religion. It's very nice, very nice thing for them to do. Basically, first reinforced are an all-time low. They're about to have the second big battle. No, the second biggest set of battles ever. Second Dresios basically just put up a massive wall of troops and made up a bunch of defenses. WiER basically splits off into a bunch of groups and starts attacking them, but slightly weaker, so they won't be able to make too much ground, but and basically the path they take is basically this. Shit, I wish let me show you. So basically this is the front line right now. There's I'm trying to use the cameras. 2 sets of Vidandra forces here. If I use my I think I saw it. Yep. There's 5 sets of Phororian forces and 4 sets of second Dresios forces, but these guys are more prepared and more defended, so yeah, they're not gonna get through here. First teams might have a tough time defending their capital, so yeah, this is just a quick display on what's going on right now. I wish to do that more. Let me just zoom out so you basically know what's going on. The world, Basically, this is what the world looks like right now. With, first and second Dresios over here in Arabia, Phororian in India, Vidandra in Russia, most of Siberia, basically. So yeah, it's basically what's going on right now. And that's where this episode will end here. 32 minutes, Jesus Christ. I love you guys. I love you, twin. Goodbye.